I was one of the people that defended and supported the appointment of Kwesi Appiah for the second time, even for the first time, and I still think he's a good coach. Nonetheless, this is his third major tournament with Ghana, the national team. In 2014, there were issues. To me, the worst of all our campaigns since we started football was in 2014 under his supervision. He was in 2013 AFCON. After we exited at the semi-final stage to Burkina, a whole lot of issues came up. There were questions around discipline. There were questions around managing the team in camp. And this time, it's happened again in Egypt. We failed miserably. So, according to Ope, his own standards that he set, he was not able to go beyond it or beat it. After 3 major tournaments, and with all these controversies, I don't know. He's a very good friend, but I believe that no country will offer a coach such an opportunity to attend 3 major tournaments and all ends in disaster. To exit at the round of 16, it's something that we're not, we as people never expected. We were going into the tournament to lift it, and to exit at that stage, one of our worst performances in the last 20 years, clearly indicates that we fell short of the standards and our own expectations we set. And if you look at the kind of aura around the team, the atmosphere around the team before they left, and the level of enthusiasm and expectations we invested into the team, I think that it was a disastrous campaign and something that we want to forget as soon as possible and continue building forward. This campaign, to me, was a botched one. It was a complete failure. There can't be any other description around it. We failed miserably. Clearly, we had some bit of technical deficiencies. To be very honest, the level of play on the pitch was way below par. The players did not give their best, in my opinion. The technical team did not perform to the standard that we expected them to be. The head coach of the team has some blame to take, especially when it comes to the technical aspects. The team did not live up to expectation. His call-ups were a bit questionable, especially the formations and tactics on the pitch were also very, very questionable. And if we put everything together, I believe that the team did not play to the best of my knowledge. We fell short because technically there were some deficiencies in the team in terms of player commitment and passion. We were lacking in a whole lot of aspects that the coach needed to have fixed. And also, generally, apart from the performance on the pitch, I think that we need to build for the future. A lot of the players in this team, even those on the bench who were supposed to have fresher legs, were players who have exhausted their entire time and energy in the national team, and there was no hunger. If you could see from the faces and body language of the players, there was apparently no hunger in playing for the national team, and you need the hunger. We saw the Algerian team, we saw even Tunisia. They were supposed to be one of the poorest teams at the tournament. They beat Ghana, but from then you could see the hunger on the faces of the players. I'm not saying that I support going about kicking things when you lose, but this shows that the players were so much, imbibed with some sort of passion, and that was very lacking on the Ghanaian team, from the technical bench to the playing body. A whole lot of things had gone wrong, and these are things that I believe we need to fix going forward. We need to prepare very well for tournaments. We don't need to just put together a group of players 2 months before the tournament and invest so much amount of money in them that in a bid to go and win. You don't do that. We have to plan for a very long time, because if you look at all the Ghana national teams that have gone on to win tournaments, the preparations that went into those teams, from the technical team to the playing body to the management, we could plan as long as 6 months. It's not in our bid or in our quest to be able to keep a team for more than 6 months under this current dispensation. Very well, but we still can plan ahead for more than 2-3 years. Other teams have done it. Germany planned for 10 years before winning the World Cup in 2014. And if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. As I said, we can't assemble a team 2 months to a tournament and tell ourselves that we are going to win. It's a complete deception that we keep on deceiving the people. No amount of money can change the fortunes of a team within 2 months. You just need to prepare the team adequately. You need to drill them. You need to have your formation and tactics in place even 2 months before the tournament. So the campaign that we went and a whole lot of the preparations that we put in place were short-sighted preparations, as we've done already. And as I keep on repeating, insanity, as they say, is doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results. This is what Ghana has been doing for all these years. We wait for the tournament, we put in money, we call the same crop of players, whether our technical team is solid or not, we put everything together, lump it and go to the tournament with a view that paying so much money to technical team and players and officials will automatically guarantee us success. It will never guarantee the success. We need to put in place a very solid and clear-cut roadmap, long-term plan, and build players from the grassroots to be able to get there. Other than that, we will keep on failing at this point because it's been the same format that we've used for all these years. I was one of the people that defended and supported the appointment of Kwesi Appiah for the second time, even for the first time, and I still think he's a good coach. Nonetheless, this is his third major tournament with Ghana, the national team. In 2014, there were issues. To me, the worst of all our campaigns since we started football was in 2014 under his supervision. He was in 2013 AFCON. After we exited at the semi-final stage to Burkina, a whole lot of issues came up. There were questions around discipline. There were questions around managing the team in camp. And this time, it's happened again in Egypt. We failed miserably. So according to Ope, his own standards that he set, he was not able to go beyond it or beat it. After 3 major tournaments and with all these controversies, I don't know. He's a very good friend, but I believe that no country will offer a coach such an opportunity to attend 3 major tournaments and all ends in disaster. If he wants to really help this nation, sometimes you can best help or contribute by staying back. If I meet him and I need to advise him, I will kindly tell him to quit the national team or just resign and let somebody else take charge. He's gone for 3 major tournaments and we've not seen improvement. It tells you clearly that something is fundamentally wrong, not with him, but maybe there is no connection between him and the national team. Maybe there is no the level of cohesion we want, the level of management we want. The coach is not getting the right kind of environment. You understand? He cannot compact well with the team, and that is what I think has gone wrong. He's not a bad coach, but I believe that when you stay with a system and attend 3 major tournaments without improvement, you cannot do anything else than to resign or maybe step down for another coach to take over. He can still have other jobs elsewhere, but the point is that the situation around the national team, the toxic around the national team, does not favor him. Whether he's not been able to manage issues, because he was there in 2014 when it exploded on the global scene, the worst indisciplinary act in football that I've witnessed at global level. He was there in Egypt again. He was there in Burkina, in South Africa 2013 when Burkina kicked out Ghana. And if he was to take charge of this team at this point, the only landmark achievement the coach would have gotten was to get to the final and win it, possibly. But to exit at the round of 16, even below his own set standards. Look at the kind of exit we had in Germany, in Brazil, when we exited at the group stage with only 1 point. If you put together the situation the coach has found himself in previous tournaments with Ghana, it will be very, very difficult, even me as an avowed supporter of his philosophies, to be able to support that he moves on with the coach. To the best of my knowledge, the coach will be better off staying off the national team than continuing in that toxic environment.
So, should he keep his job? What are some of the elements or some of the changes you would expect him to implement moving forward?
Yeah, my only disappointment with him is that he could have kept his job if he had gone to this AFCON with some of the local players, some new players, as his team building mantra portrayed. It would have been better for him to go to the AFCON with an entirely new set of players. It happened with Nigeria. They got to the semi-final, but 20 out of their 23 players were debutants at the AFCON. The average age is something that you can really hope for going into the future. Look at what the coach suddenly changed his own trend of building a very solid young team for the future. Bringing in Kwejo Asamoah, bringing in John Boy, bringing in Wakasu, bringing in Asamoah Gyan. There was the Dayu, and a whole lot of these players had played the AFCON on so many occasions. In my opinion, there was no hunger. The thirst to win was not there, and it is natural. These are players who have experienced all these situations in World Cups and in AFCON, so there was nothing really upon their heads. There was no responsibility for them to clear. And these are players that I've stated have taken bonuses, have taken appearance fees and played and lost. They've become so accustomed to losing that nothing really challenges them. There is no edge for them to go and win. But if he was building a team of young players and the future of looking into qualifying for 2022 World Cup and AFCON 2021 as the target, sincerely, the coach would have even gotten some remarks, positive remarks from people in football, because he would have been building a new team. And so if we had failed, nobody in this country would have been able to criticize him, just like it happened with Avram Grant. He went to the AFCON in Gabon with the target of going to do well. He went to the final, and so you had no way, or you had no moral right to criticize him. But Coach Kwesi Appiah went into this to win it. His target was to win. He failed, and about that, he went with players, tired legs, and there's no future in these players. So what sort of team building is that? If he is to keep his job, one critical advice I can give to him that I don't trust will be implemented is that he should start building a very young team and look into the future. He derailed his own plan though, but possibly he can change his mind once he gets the job and be able to stick to that plan of building a solid team for the future. To me, nothing is going to change when it comes to the AFCON budget, because it's become very political, very, very political. MPP will be in power, criticize the budget when they are in opposition. NDC will be in power, they will criticize the budget when they are in the opposition. But it's going to be the same old format. It's the same old mantra. The budget will be discussed thoroughly. There will be controversies around it. There will be outrageous items in the budget, just as it's happened over all these years. And I can predict that even after AFCON 2021, I'll meet the same crew to talk about the controversies around the budget after AFCON 2021, because we are not ready to learn. It was a very huge investment that we made in this Black Stars team, spending $4.5 million in a campaign that only got us to the round of 16. It's not something that you can really defend. If you want to defend this, then truly you do not love Ghana football. We cannot keep on defending the indefensible. It is not Honorable Isaac Asiama, the sports minister, who started the trend. It is not Ayariga who started the trend. And it will go back to all the political parties, to different ministers. The only thing we can do is to be bold enough to change this format of investing wrongly. Of course, we need to invest in football if we want to get to the top, but we are making the wrong kind of investment. I listened to the budget and there was nothing. I thought that this administration will be an aberration of the previous ones. Nothing changed, because the players will demand what they want. If you put it together, we want to be in Dubai, we want to stay in a luxurious hotel, we want this kind of meals, we want this kind of buses. If you put everything together, the cost is going to rise. But the question we should ask ourselves is, are we yielding the right kind of results by investing in this team to that level of, injection of financial resources? Are we getting a proportional, returns from the team? No. So what do we need to do? We need to make proper investment, other than investing 2 months before a tournament and expecting to win. I listened to the budget and I realized that there were so many items in the budget that if the minister going forward, if he'll be taking advice from his superiors, people who have seen what has gone wrong, would be better. Is that we need to cut down on a whole lot of these expenses. We need to cut down on spendings that do not bring any returns to the team. To be very honest, if this money had gone into grassroots development, if this money had gone into infrastructure, planning for the long term, capacity building for young coaches, because these are the coaches who will train the players. If we do not train and implement this at the grassroots, we will limit the kind of player inflow into the Black Stars, and so the current players will always be demanding more, because to you, they don't have any competition. There is no production line from the junior team to the national team. So Asamoah Gyan will still be there for all these years. There is no quality striker to depose him from the team. So whatever he demands will be given to them. Other than that, the kind of bonuses, the kind of technical appearance fees we pay, all these things have recurred in previous budgets. But the truth of the matter is that this is not something that we can keep on doing. It is not sustainable. The earlier we decide to change drastically and reform our football and re-strategize, build a very nice structure of football from technical directorate to the grassroots, to be able to get a very solid Black Stars in the next 4 or 5 years will be better than investing in the team 2 months to the AFCON, huge sums of money with the aim of going to win it. You can't deceive nature. According to the best practices, you cannot motivate footballers purely based on monetary, commitment and considerations. I'm not saying that we should not pay footballers, because even officials, even people who follow the national team get some sort of reward. But how do we structure the bonus? We structure the bonus in the sense that it is performance related. If the players are saying they need $30,000 per win, we agree, but we are going to pay you $5,000 if you win every game. We reserve the $25,000 to the final. So when you win the trophy, we lump together and give it to you as your winning bonuses. The German structure, for instance, they don't pay winning bonuses at the group stages because that is not their target. Their target is to rise above that, so they start paying from the quarterfinals. But when the players get to the final, the bonuses increase. When they win, the bonuses triple. So if the Black Stars players are really serious about winning the AFCON and not making money, then we should put the money, their winning bonuses, alongside the trophy. If you say you want $10,000 for a win, we have accumulated that. It is now $70,000 at the final. We have put it alongside the trophy. Win the trophy and pick your $70,000. But we cannot be paying $50,000 for players just for qualifying from the group stages. So the bonuses should be performance related. As you go higher, it gets increased. And even after you get to the trophy, the lump sum of that amount has been placed alongside the trophy. So if you are a player and you have the hunger in you to win, and your only sort of motivation is financial, you play and go and win the trophy and pick it. Other than that, we will keep on investing in the group stages, because in so many of these tournaments, the Ghanaian players have had so much than even the teams that won the eventual tournament. This doesn't make sense. We need to structure the bonus in the sense that it is performance related. You put the money alongside the trophy. If you want $100,000 for winning this trophy, we have placed it alongside the trophy. Win it and everybody takes their money, other than putting the money at the group stage. In the next 2 months, the normalization committee will not be in the office, but it depends on the statutes and the regulations that they are putting in place that will restructure or that will take sway over the administration of Ghana football. To me, they have the best personnel if they want to really implement proper measures in football in Ghana. I think they have the capacity to do, and it depends on them. It behoves on them and the football administrators to come together to set proper guidelines for the administration of Ghana football. First of all, we need to plan for the long term. It is something that is very bitter on the lips of Ghanaians, but that's the only way forward. We have to plan ahead. We have to restructure our football from the juvenile level. We have to build infrastructure. These are the areas where we need critical investments. From what I saw in Egypt, from what the authorities saw, football is not just played a month before a tournament. Football is played by putting in place proper measures and structures. We lack planning. And apart from that, we need to restructure our bonus system just to incite players, just to instigate the players' performance towards winning, and not just winning a game, but winning the ultimate to get their money. Technically, we need to beef up our team. I think that we have so many technical deficiencies, and we need to build the capacity of our coaches, send them to refresher courses at the best coaching schools in the world, let the coaches learn about man management and all those issues, because we have to use 3 or 4, 5 years to build all that solid foundation before we can attend tournaments and have the expectations of going to win it. These are some of the measures that I think we need to put in place. We have to plan for the long term. We have to build the capacity of our coaches. We have to invite more young players and get rid of the old legs from the team, because Almighty Drogba was sacked from the Ivory Coast team, or let me say retired, before they won the AFCON, and it took Ballack out of the German national team before they won the World Cup. Sometimes the iconic figures in the team may not necessarily be the ones you need to win, but that is the situation of Ghana. We are afraid to take drastic decisions, but to the best of my knowledge in Ghana football, every time a Ghanaian club or a national team has propelled, we took drastic measures that in the end propelled these teams or national teams to the laurels they won.